Next, let's cruise on up to the only state with a flavor town on the wrong side of the Civil War, Georgia, where Governor Brian Kemp thinks our biggest coronavirus threat is the masks that protect us from it.
Republican Governor Brian Kemp is banning cities and counties from mandating masks. This as coronavirus cases continue to surge in the state of Georgia.
This little new passage that explicitly states that county and city governments cannot mandate masks or facial coverings.
Brian Kemp, you absolute knob. I wish we never didn't elect you. Kemp's reckless no mask, no problem order was made the same day Georgia had recorded its second highest number of coronavirus cases at the time, and the situation has only gotten worse. It's Georgia's biggest health crisis since that time every wealthy man in Savannah came down with a wicked spell of the horrible awfuls. Last week, Kemp sued Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms for not obeying his masks optional order.
The governor claims that it violates his executive order because the executive order says you cannot put any restrictions that exceed the order.
This governor is taking taxpayer money to sue me personally. And the irony is that I am now infected with COVID-19.
For someone who hates masks, Governor Kemp is getting Georgia more than an eyes wide shut party. Next up, we're rolling out to Oklahoma, the state that puts the okay in Oklahoma, where Governor Kevin Stitt never even bothered to issue a stay-at-home order. And in April, he began allowing maskless people inside hair salons, barbershops, and pet groomers, basically any business that involves hair. Oklahoma is averaging more than 600 new cases per day, including the governor himself.
On the day that Oklahoma announced its single highest day coronavirus case number, the governor says he has been tested positive with COVID-19. The governor says despite this news, he will not issue a mask mandate in the state of Oklahoma.
Wow, I'm sorry that Kevin Stitt got coronavirus, but I'm glad the worst thing to ever happen to him is no longer that his name is Kevin's Tit. Please, Kevin's Tit was my dad's name. Call me Kevin's Dirty Pillows. Finally, we're taking a special visit to Arizona, the kickin' state where you don't wanna get corona. There, Governor Doug Ducey has completely bungled his state's pandemic response. Ducey is the former CEO of Cold Stone Creamery, so when coronavirus arrived in Arizona, he ordered a gotta have it.
According to the state's Department of Health Services, nearly 124,000 people have tested positive for the coronavirus as of Monday, and more than 2,200 have died, which is just an immense loss of life in the state. Arizona reported more than 2,500 new infections on Sunday, and over the past week, nearly 27% of coronavirus tests there came back positive. That's a huge chunk of positive tests, and in fact, it is the highest infection rate in the nation.
Finally, Arizona is #1 in the nation for something other than scorpion stings. Despite the rise in coronavirus cases, Arizona has yet to mandate masks.
Governor Doug Ducey has essentially barred cities and counties from taking measures that are any more strict than what he allows. And for months, he refused to not only not have a statewide mask order, but he refused to allow the cities and the counties to issue their own. He finally relented on that, and a great many around the state did, but the enforcement of that is somewhat lax.
Well, it's not surprising that Arizona would drag its feet on mandating masks. After all, in 1992, it became one of the last states to make Martin Luther King Jr. Day an official holiday, 9 years after the U.S. government. Yeah. I know that seems racist, but you got to remember, it's a dry hate. These governors may be the worst in terms of state pandemic response, but even more successful governors have struggled to contain the virus. New York may have flattened its curve, but the state was initially slow to respond, and Governor Andrew Cuomo is prematurely taking a victory lap. He's rolled out not one, not two, but 3 pieces of pandemic-related art, and all of them look like something you'd find in a shut-ins apartment after they're dead. If the outbreaks across the South and Sunbelt continue to spread northward, all the progress we made from our lockdowns this spring may be erased. It is soul-crushing, especially considering that other countries are able to manage this pandemic. New Zealand, South Korea, and Germany are all safer because they focused on science and provided consistent messaging so people have clear directions to follow. I mean, granted, Germans are already well known for following orders, but this time it's actually a good thing. America's decentralization makes it hard to get our shit together when we really need to. We fetishize individualism to the point that shared responsibility feels like oppression. Our every state for itself system with 50 uncoordinated responses puts us all in danger. We need a unified strategy, preferably a strategy that permanently distances all of us from these people. Now don't go anywhere. We have 3 more acts so good you can eat them off a flip-flop. Donkey sauce. If you liked this video, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments below. And if you didn't like this video, I'm sure you've already left a comment. Thank you so much.